Hi everybody, and huge thanks to Dee for organising this online event. I've been asked today to speak on behalf of WASPI Scotland from a very dreich, socially isolated Glasgow, and I've been very fortunate because I've been very lucky to have our cameraman Gordon here do the honours and also so beautifully model our WASPI Scotland mask. So who are WASPI Scotland? Well, WASPI Scotland was formed because we were part of the main WASPI group, and way back in 2016 we had a mass event in Glasgow where everybody from around Scotland came along, and we'll show you some photos of that now. And this was a great opportunity. It brought everybody together and we all kept in contact and we built on those contacts, and we've all travelled around Scotland because we are fortunate enough still to have our bus passes at 60 to join in with the other WASPI women across the whole of the UK. But one thing I want to make plain here is when I say WASPI, we use WASPI as a generic term because not only do we have WASPI women, many of our women are in lots of different groups. And we set up, Anne Potter, who founded the group, and myself, were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to set up a cross-party group in Holyrood at the Scottish Parliament. And when we did that, we made a pledge, because it was coming across very strongly in our groups, that people wanted all the different groups to join together and work together. So when we set up the cross-party group in Holyrood, we've always extended invitations to any other interested groups. And the same thing is when we've been fortunate enough to attend party political conferences, etc., and had stalls, we've always asked people along to come to the stalls as well. And we've had some really, really good interaction with We Paid In, You Pay Out, with Feisty Women, and with Back to 60. So that's the sort of background to WASPI Scotland. What we did feel was that because we have Holyrood, the Scottish Parliament, but pensions are devolved to Westminster, that we needed a body where we could actually be a sort of one-stop shop for our MPs as well. And that's why we set up WASPI Scotland. So we're affiliated to the WASPI campaign 2018, but as I say, you know, a lot of the stuff that goes on here at Holyrood and everything, we take care of. Now, the one thing I would say is that pensions are reserved to Westminster, and one of the things that we do fight against is the fact that they keep saying the Scottish Government have powers to reinstate our state pension, which they don't. So we just want to get rid of that elephant in the room. Now, the other thing, as I said earlier, was that a lot of the women want a coalition, everybody working together, and we really strive for that, and we would really support any move to do that. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. As I say, we've been going for 5 years. We've had a lot of women who've joined us from day one who now have their pensions, who still support us. We've got a lot of women who there now with the pandemic are being put into invidious positions, and this is an issue that's a real injustice and is not going away. And it's up to us all, the length and breadth of the UK, to prove this injustice, and the way we can do it is by working together. We've got talent out there in every field. What we need to do is we need to harness that talent, and the only way I can see us doing that is if we set up an organisation, a congress if you like, similar to the Trade Union Congress, similar to trades councils across the whole of the UK, where we go together and we work together, and together, you know, we can make our injustice at the forefront. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, we're having an uphill struggle. We've been doing, since we started doing this, we've had 2 general elections, we've had a Brexit referendum, and now we're hit with a pandemic. One of the biggest assets from our group here in Glasgow and across the whole of Scotland was that we recognised that not all women are IT savvy. They don't have access to IT. And one of the things we did was we set up clinics, which you can see in these photographs, across the country, where we would invite people along to help them to fill in their forms, to put in the DWP maladministration letters. The other thing as well that we did was we held public meetings in constituencies all across the UK, all across Scotland, and were so well attended that in one constituency in particular we had the town hall and we had to open up the second hall. We've packed out church halls, we've packed out school halls, etc., because we want to get in touch with the women who are affected, and together we'll be much stronger fighting this. So thanks Dee again for doing this, and I would reiterate, we don't need to invent the wheel, but what we do need to do is we need to get all the groups together. We need to celebrate our successes and build on them. We need to learn from our mistakes and build on them. But what we need to do is to get all the women together to prove what an injustice it is that we've been served up, and also to lobby Parliament as much as we can for a solution to this. That's the only way we can get a solution to this now, is to get the primary legislation changed, and the only way we can do that is by taking over the narrative. 1950s born women are not the problem, they're the solution. If we were to let women gain access to their state pension, voluntary access to their state pension, think of the jobs that we would release for the younger people. Think of how much we would mitigate the health problems that come on in later life, and think how much we would help people to shield from the pandemic. We've all done our shift. Our shift's over now. It's time for us to gain access to the state pension that we've paid for, many since 15 years of age, and the only way we can do that is working together. So WASPI Scotland fully backs some form of coalition, and hope we can all work together and see that come to fruition.
No one is debating anymore whether an injustice happened. Nobody. And if that has taken us years to get here, then by God it is well earned. And where we might disagree with each other in some part along the way into how we resolve this issue, the fact that no one can question the injustice in itself